Ever caught yourself wondering what goes on in the mind of the world's rarest personality type? You're not alone. The INFJ personality type, making up less than 1% of the population, has always been shrouded in mystery. But today we're going to pull back the curtain and take an intimate look at who INFJ really are when no one's watching. It's like getting a backstage pass to the most exclusive show on earth, the inner workings of the INFJ mind, the sacred sanctuary. When an INFJ finally closes their door to the world, something transformative happens. It's as if they're taking off an invisible armor they've been wearing all day. Their private space isn't just a room, it's their personal monastery, a place where they can finally breathe freely and let their guard down. The transformation is subtle but profound. Their shoulders relax, their facial expressions become more natural, and their entire energy shifts from public mode to authentic mode. In this sanctuary, you'll find evidence of their complex inner world scattered everywhere. Dog-eared books with multiple bookmarks sit on their desk, each marking a passage that sparked a deep thought or resonated with their soul. Their journal might lie open, its pages filled with intricate observations about life, relationships, and the human condition. The walls might be adorned with inspiration boards or artwork that speaks to their vision for the future. This space is meticulously curated, not just for comfort but for inspiration. Every object has meaning, every arrangement serves a purpose. It's like they're creating their own personal universe where everything aligns with their inner vision. The lighting is often soft and calming. Harsh overhead lights are rarely their first choice. They might have a favorite corner with a comfortable chair, perfectly positioned for reading, thinking, or just watching the world go by. The art of decompression. For INFJ, the process of unwinding isn't just about physical relaxation, it's a complex emotional and mental detox. After spending their day absorbing others' emotions and navigating social interactions, they need time to process and release all that accumulated energy. It's like watching a computer defrag its hard drive, but for emotions and experiences. This unwinding process might look different for each INFJ, but it always involves some form of emotional release and mental sorting. Some might immediately need to write down their thoughts, pouring their observations and feelings onto paper before they become overwhelming. Others might need complete silence, lying on their bed and staring at the ceiling as they mentally replay and analyze the day's events. The decompression ritual often includes physical elements too. They might make their favorite tea with precise attention to detail, water temperature, steeping time, everything just so. Some might pace their room, gesturing as they work through their thoughts. Others might organize their space, finding calm in creating external order while their mind processes internal chaos. The rich fantasy life. When an INFJ is truly alone, their imagination runs wild and free. Their mind becomes a canvas where they paint elaborate scenarios, future conversations, and possible life paths. This isn't mere daydreaming, it's more like running sophisticated social and emotional simulations. In their mind's eye, they might rehearse an important conversation dozens of times, exploring different approaches and outcomes. They might imagine themselves in various situations, testing how they'd feel and react. These mental movies are incredibly detailed, complete with dialogue, emotional responses, and even background music. This rich fantasy life serves multiple purposes. It's partly preparation. INFJ like to feel ready for any situation. It's partly processing, working through emotions and experiences in a safe, controlled environment. And it's partly pure creativity, letting their imagination soar without the constraints of reality. The philosophical deep dive. Late at night, when the world grows quiet, INFJ minds often kick into philosophical overdrive. Their thoughts spiral into deep existential territory, questioning the nature of consciousness, pondering the purpose of human existence, or contemplating the interconnectedness of all things. These aren't just abstract musings, they're seeking practical wisdom they can apply to better understand themselves and help others. Their notebooks might be filled with seemingly random observations that connect in fascinating ways. One page might contain thoughts about quantum physics, while the next explores the parallels between natural patterns and human behavior. They're constantly looking for the threads that connect different ideas, trying to weave them into a coherent tapestry of understanding. The creative expression. In solitude, INFJ often experience intense bursts of creativity. Their artistic expression isn't just about creating something beautiful, it's about giving form to their inner world. They might write poetry that captures complex emotions in metaphor, create artwork that represents their psychological state, or compose music that expresses what words cannot. This creative process is deeply personal and often therapeutic. They might have several projects going at once, each representing a different aspect of their emotional or intellectual exploration. Some pieces might never be shared with anyone. They're created purely for self-expression and understanding. The emotional laboratory. Behind closed doors, INFJ operate what can only be described as an emotional laboratory. Here, in the safety of solitude, they finally allow themselves to fully experience and analyze the complex web of feelings they've collected throughout their day. It's like watching a master chemist at work, but instead of chemicals, they're processing emotions, insights, and intuitive hits. Their emotional processing isn't just feeling, it's a sophisticated system of analysis. They might spend hours unpacking a single interaction, examining it from every angle. Was that friend's smile genuine? Why did that conversation feel off? What was the underlying meaning behind those words? Their empathic abilities, which they often have to dial down in public, can now run at full capacity. Sometimes this processing involves physical expression. They might pace the room while talking to themselves, working through emotional knots like they're solving complex equations. Music often plays a crucial role. They might have specific playlists for different emotional states, using songs as tools to help them access and process deeper feelings. Some might even dance when no one's watching, letting their body express what their mind is still processing. And the strategic life architect. In their private moments, INFJ transform into meticulous life architects. Their planning goes far beyond simple to-do lists. They're designing potential futures with the precision of a master builder. You might find them surrounded by journals, planners, and sticky notes, each containing pieces of their grand vision. Their planning process is uniquely INFJ. It's not just logical step-by-step thinking, but a blend of practical planning and intuitive vision. They might spend hours creating detailed action plans while simultaneously checking in with their gut feelings about each decision. Does this path feel right? Does it align with their values? Is it authentic to who they are? These planning sessions often involve multiple scenarios and backup plans. They're like chess players thinking several moves ahead, considering not just their own actions but how others might respond, and how various choices might impact their relationships and personal growth. The relationship cartographer. When alone, INFJ often engage in deep relationship analysis, mapping the complex terrain of their social connections with remarkable detail. They're like social cartographers, creating invisible maps of relationships, dynamics, and emotional undercurrents. This analysis goes beyond surface-level observations. They might spend hours considering the subtle dynamics in their friend group, understanding the invisible threads that connect different people. They're particularly attuned to changes in relationships. A slight shift in someone's tone, a subtle change in group dynamics, or an unexplained distance in a friendship can occupy their thoughts for days. Their analysis isn't just observational, it's often focused on improvement. How can they be a better friend? How can they help resolve conflicts they've noticed? How can they create more meaningful connections? They might rehearse future conversations or plan ways to strengthen important relationships. And the energy management system. INFJ develops sophisticated systems for managing their energy levels when alone. This isn't just about physical rest, it's about emotional, mental, and spiritual recharging. Their recharge rituals are often elaborate and personalized, refined through years of self-discovery. Some might have a specific order to their recharging routine. It might start with physical comfort, changing into soft clothes, making a comfortable space, perhaps lighting a candle or creating the right ambience. Then comes mental clearing, meditation, journaling, or simply sitting in silence. Finally, spiritual connection, whether through formal practices or simple mindfulness. These rituals might seem excessive to others, but for INFJ they're essential maintenance. It's like watching someone tend to a complex garden. Each activity nurtures a different aspect of their well-being. The shadow work studio. In private, INFJ often confront their shadow side, the parts of themselves they struggle with or try to hide from others. This internal work is like watching an artist work with dark colors. It's not always comfortable, but it's necessary for the full picture. They might journal about their insecurities, analyze their reactions that they're not proud of, or work through feelings of guilt or inadequacy. This shadow work isn't just wallowing, it's productive self-analysis aimed at growth and integration. During these sessions, they might have long internal dialogues, working through complex emotions or confronting limiting beliefs. It's like watching someone untangle a complex knot, patient, methodical, sometimes frustrating but ultimately necessary. The bridge between worlds. As their alone time draws to a close, INFJ engage in a fascinating transition process. It's like watching an actor prepare for a role, but instead of putting on a fake persona, they're preparing to present their authentic self in a way that can engage with the world. This transition might involve physical preparation, choosing clothes that feel both comfortable and appropriate, perhaps applying makeup, not just for appearance but as a kind of emotional armor. But the real preparation is internal. They might review their energy levels, set intentions for upcoming interactions, or prepare conversation topics. Some INFJ have specific rituals for this transition. They might take a few deep breaths, do a quick meditation, or give themselves a pep talk. It's not about being fake, it's about bridging their rich inner world with the demands of external reality, the integration process. The final aspect of an INFJ private world is how they integrate their insights and plans into their daily life. This integration is like watching a master weaver at work, taking all the threads of their private processing and weaving them into practical action. They might create small action steps from their big insights, write down key realizations to remember later, or set specific intentions for how they want to show up in the world. This integration process is crucial. It's what allows them to take their rich inner work and make it meaningful in their external life. Conclusion: the symphony of solitude. When we truly understand what happens when an INFJ is alone, we see that their private world is like a complex symphony, each aspect playing its part in maintaining their well-being and supporting their growth. Their alone time isn't just rest or recreation, it's an essential practice that allows them to show up fully in the world. For INFJ watching this, know that your need for this rich inner life is valid and valuable. Your complexity isn't a burden, it's a gift that allows you to understand and contribute to the world in unique and meaningful ways. And for those who love an INFJ, understanding these private aspects helps you appreciate the depth of their nature and the importance of their solitude. Remember, what we've explored is just a glimpse into the INFJ private world. Each INFJ is unique, with their own specific ways of processing, creating, and being. The beauty lies not just in understanding these patterns, but in appreciating the individual ways each INFJ manifests them in their life.